Hello aspirants, welcome to IAS Icons by Unacademy. This is Shubham Sardhalia. As you are aware that we have been discussing NCERTs for various subjects, as I promised you that NCERT being the most confusing thing when it comes to preparation, students tend to ask these questions time and again, sir, how the NCERTs are to be read, do we need to memorize them, all those things I'll be covering in detail so that after following this entire series your NCERTs as the part of UPSC syllabus are so much well versed with that you are able to answer every question asked from here. So continuing our discussion, in this lecture we'll be talking about chapter number 7 for class 6th NCERT for the subject geography. So we'll be discussing this. All those who are joining me for the first time, I just want to tell you that already on this channel you will find my NCERT lectures for the subject history and geography. So every day at 1 p.m. we'll have our this geography class, and at 3 p.m. we will have our history class. Once this geography and history are over, we will move forward with other subjects, and in the similar manner, covering one chapter a day, we will be completing the entire NCERT book list that we are told to study. Start your preparation today with India's largest learning platform, that is Unacademy. Sir, we at Unacademy offer you widest choice of features that will help you qualify this examination. Aspirants just like you are the toppers today. You can start your preparation under the guidance of the top educators of the country, the best educators, undoubtedly, the people who have been helping out the students to qualify these examinations, the people who have been writing those books which toppers study and recommend to everybody. They are helping you out in this exam preparation. My name is Shubham Sardhalia. I'll be your educator and mentor for various subjects. You can opt to join us with our plus and iconic subscriptions using this code IAS Icons. Remember to use this code because this code will fetch you maximum discounts on all the courses of Unacademy. Sir, we are giving you a special 9-month plus course for 2023 prelims. As you are aware that 2023 prelims is just 9 months away. So we are starting with the specialized series where we ensure you to complete entire UPSC syllabus within a time frame of 9 months. You can enroll with us at the earliest. You can get this amount at you can get this course at an amount of rupees 45,000 if you enroll till 24th of October using this code IAS Icons. So don't miss out on it, especially if you are aiming for 2023 attempt. We are giving you specialized course for CSAT also only at rupees 8,999. That is also valid till 24th October if you use this code IAS Icons. Our batches bilingual both in Hindi and English are starting very soon. You can enroll with us from today onwards and start your preparation so that by the time we are 2023 prelims is here, we are almost well versed with all the syllabus of UPSC and we are able to answer the questions in a very best manner. Coming on to our content, so we have already discussed these things. Now we are moving on to chapter number 7 of our NCERT, that is known as Our Country India. So this discussion will all be about India as a country, India as part of this entire globe. So in an overview, if I talk about certain things, so India, you all know, goes stretches between the lofty Himalayas, goes up to Arabian Sea in the west, Bay of Bengal in the east, and Indian Ocean in the south. So we can imagine, or we can assume, or we can see India on the map in between these four important geographical features. The northernmost extent you find the Himalayas, then the southernmost extent you find this Indian Ocean, the western extent you see Arabian Sea, and on the eastern extent you see Bay of Bengal. Approximately 328 million square kilometers of area stretching from Ladakh to Kanyakumari. Approximately 3,200 kilometers from north to south, that is from Ladakh to Kanyakumari, and approximately 2,900 kilometers from the Kutch of Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh. So the north to south extent of India is somewhere around 3,200 kilometers. The west to east extent is 2,900 kilometers. We see in this area the lofty mountains, the great Indian deserts, the northern plains, the ghats, whatnot. If we talk about the location of India, you know that Tropic of Cancer, it cuts, we already discussed about it. It's a Tropic of Cancer, it divides India somewhere in the middle. So Tropic of Cancer, it passes through certain states in India. We already discussed about those. What were those states? You need to remember because we already discussed in the class. I told you the way to remember those states also. Then there are another features. For example, how many states are there in India? What are the number of union territories? The longitudinal and latitudinal extent of India that stretches from 8.4 degree north to 37 degree 37.6 degree north. These are the latitudes. In similar way, we have certain latitudes, longitudes and latitudes in which India stretches. So what happens here is, what we try to understand here is that we need to remember, we need to understand, and we need to memorize certain facts with respect to India. We'll talk about neighboring countries with India in this lecture. We'll talk about the political divisions, the states and union territories. We'll talk about the physical features of India. We'll talk about certain things like what is Himalayas. Himalaya is divided into Great Himalaya or Himadri. Then we have Middle Himalayas or Himachal. Then we what we call as Shivalik. Then we have things known as northern plains. We have Great Indian deserts. We have peninsular plateau. We have ranges like Vindhya, Satpura. We have Narmada and Tapi river flowing. We have eastern and western ghats. We have the coastal plains. We have rivers like Mahanadi, Godavari, Kaveri, which drain into Bay of Bengal. Then we have rivers like Ganga, Brahmaputra, that again drain into Bay of Bengal, forming the most fertile region known as Sundarban Delta. So these are the things which we will be covering now. As if you have followed me in the classes where I talked about how to read NCERTs, I told you this thing only, that in the entire NCERT chapter, not everything is to be read, not everything is to be memorized. So I'll be giving you certain notes. You can just follow those notes, because these notes will contain each and everything that is important from exams perspective. See, if you have followed me on those lectures, for last 2 days we were conducting certain special sessions on YouTube, both on our channel IAS Icons and UPSC 101. So I told you there that there are certain things which need to be remembered, which need to be memorized, but there are much more things which we need to ignore in this entire NCERT, because not everything is important from exams perspective. So I'll just filter. That's what I have been doing, and that's where the guidance comes into play. I have been bringing for you the best notes so that you can understand the things, you can memorize the things. So entire chapter would be summarized in a way that India in the north is bounded by Himalayas, as I told you in the very beginning, Arabian Sea in the west, Bay of Bengal in the east, and Indian Ocean in the south. Approximately 3.28 million square kilometers, the vast stretch of land. If we just try to visualize the things, looks something like this. You'll find it something like this if I try to explain you with the help of a map. So what is happening here is, there are certain physical features and then there are certain political divisions. The physical features are fixed, but political divisions can be changed. So if this we look at it as the map of India, here you will find this is where we have the Arabian Sea. If somebody of you has visited Goa or somebody has gone to Mumbai, the sea that you face while chilling out at the beach of Mumbai or Goa, that is Arabian Sea. The southernmost extent is Indian Ocean, the only ocean of the world that is named after a country. On the eastern side, if you visit, you will find Bay of Bengal. The states like West Bengal, Odisha, they are bordering Bay of Bengal. Then here this entire stretch is of mighty Himalayas, the adobe of snow, Himalaya, the adobe of snow. So these are the four physical features which are surrounding our nation. We have the mighty Himalayas and the three big water bodies by the name Arabian Sea, Indian Ocean and Bay of Bengal. North to south extent, as I told you, is 3200 kilometers. So if you start traveling from Kashmir and you want to reach up to Kanyakumari, the distance that you will be covering is approximately 3200 kilometers. In a similar way, if we start from Arunachal Pradesh to Kutch of Gujarat, or the other way, you start from Gujarat and go up to Arunachal Pradesh, you will cover this area of 2900 kilometers. So this stretch starting from Kashmir to Kanyakumari and then starting from Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh, that's how the northern and north to south and west to east extent of India is stretched. Locational settings, if we talk about, the 23 and 23.3 degree north passes almost halfway through the country. The Tropic of Cancer, I've already discussed, covering the states like Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, Jharkhand, West Bengal. These states, or the entire Indian landmass, is approximately divided into two equal halves by this Tropic of Cancer, 23.5 degree north. We talked about this Tropic of Cancer in the chapter Latitudes and Longitudes. From south to north, India extends between 8 degree 4th north to 37 degree 6th north. So we need to understand that this, because Where is equator? 0 degree equator is somewhere towards the south of India. So here we have 0 degree equator. Here we have 8 degree 4 north. North because it lies in the north of equator, and it goes up to 37 degrees 6 north. So the southernmost tip of India has the this latitude 8 degree 4 north crossing, and the northernmost part follows the latitude 37 degrees 6 north. In a similar way, we have the longitudinal extent. If you remember, we talked about the Greenwich Mean Time, and India lies towards the eastern side. So that's why the longitudinal extent of India is in east. We need to remember the latitudinal extent of India lies entirely in north, and longitudinal extent, the latitudinal extent lies entirely in north, and longitudinal extent lies entirely in east. So from 68 degrees 6 east to 97 degree 25 east, 68 degrees 7 east is Gujarat, and this is Arunachal Pradesh. So that's how our latitudes and longitudes are placed. We already talked about that with each degree change in longitude, the time changes by 4 minutes. That's why there is a gap of approximately 2 hours in time when it comes to eastern and western extent. So if we go by the local time of Gujarat, comparing it to the local time of Assam or Arunachal Pradesh, you will find the difference of 2 hours. We talked about it in detail in the previous chapter. If you haven't watched those videos, you can start from lecture number 1. We covered all the chapters in each and every lecture. So what was happening here was there was a time difference of 2 hours which created a problem. I gave you the example that you being posted as collector of Arunachal Pradesh had to make a call to the collector of some district in Gujarat, or vice versa. You were posted in some district of Gujarat and wanted to talk to the collector of some district in Arunachal Pradesh. So what happened? You gave him the time that I'll be calling you at 10 a.m. But since you, because of your local time, you have a time difference of 2 hours. When it's 10 a.m. at Gujarat, sir, it's 8 a.m. at Arunachal Pradesh. So according to 10 a.m. at Gujarat, you made a call. So what was happening here was this 2 hours of time difference. When it was 8 a.m. at Gujarat, it was 10 a.m. Sorry, I guess I said it other way around. We need to remember that since eastern part lies ahead of Greenwich Mean Time, so Arunachal Pradesh, the easternmost extent, will be ahead of 2 hours as compared to Gujarat. So when it was 10 a.m. at Arunachal Pradesh, Gujarat was still at 8 a.m. But collector of Gujarat district had to make a call at 10 a.m. So by the time Gujarat had 10 a.m., Arunachal Pradesh was already at 12 p.m. or 12 noon. So there was a confusion that what time to follow. So that's why there was a single longitude which was named as 82.5 degree east, which was taken as Indian Standard Time. It passes through certain states. We talked about that also. So this was the west to east extent, this was the north to south extent, and somewhere here crosses the standard meridian for India's time. We talk about Indian neighboring countries. We have 7 countries that neighbor India. These are known as Afghanistan, Pakistan, China, Nepal, Bhutan, Myanmar, and Bangladesh. We can remember it as per the length of the boundary. So the nation that shares longest boundary with India, and then in the descending order. So Bangladesh, it shares the longest boundary, followed by China. Then we have Pakistan, we have Nepal, we have Myanmar, we have Bhutan, and Afghanistan. So these 7 nations, they are neighboring India from various fronts. So here we have Pakistan. This is a smaller stretch is of Afghanistan. Here we have China, we have Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, and Myanmar. So these 7 nations are adjoining with the land boundary of India. Then we have 2 island nations also, Sri Lanka and Maldives. So here we have Sri Lanka and here we have Maldives. Sri Lanka is separated from India by the Pak Strait. So we need to remember that Pak Strait separates India from Sri Lanka. When it comes to political divisions, India is divided into certain states and UTs. So we have 28 states and 8 union territories. Prior to 2014, we were having 28 states and 7 UTs. Then Telangana as a new state was formed, so we had 29 states and 7 UTs again. But later on, the Dadra, Nagar Haveli and Daman Diu, they became 1 UT, so we were 6 UTs and 29 states. But then Jammu, Kashmir, Ladakh was bifurcated into two UTs. So we again became 28 states and 8 UTs. Now we have 28 states and 8 union territories. We need not to get confused in number of UTs, because earlier we had 7 union territories, but some times ago Daman, Diu, Dadra, Nagar Haveli were merged into one, and it became, the number of UTs became 6. And after that, two new UTs were added. That was Jammu Kashmir and Ladakh. So the number became 8, whereas number of states decreased by 1. So today we have 28 states and 8 union territories. Delhi is the national capital. Rajasthan is the largest state, and Goa is the smallest state in terms of area. We can see these administrative divisions. This is Ladakh, this is Jammu Kashmir, Himachal Pradesh, Punjab, Haryana, Uttarakhand. Then we have Delhi, Uttar Pradesh, Rajasthan, Gujarat, Madhya Pradesh, and all those 28 states and 8 UTs you can see on this map. This is the political division, because this bifurcation, these divisions were created in order to make the political thing more convenient, the ruling of the regions, how to maintain the law and order. It was very difficult to maintain a single law and order. So in order to make that centralized thing much more lenient, this entire nation was divided into smaller states, and that is what is known as political divisions. In a similar fashion, we have this physical division. There is a basic difference between political and physical divisions. Sir, political divisions you are able to see on a map only, you are able to read about it. But if you go exactly at a point, for example, if you are standing at Punjab and Haryana border, you will not find some natural border in between them. It's not that there is something you will see physically, because it has been created for our own convenience. So that is the physical, that is the political feature. But then we have physical divisions. These physical divisions are such that if you go on to that place, you will actually find these regions. For example, the most important part of India's physical divisions is the Great Himalayas. So if you go to the stretch where Great Himalayas are uh, situated, you will actually find that the mighty hills and mighty ranges. So Great Himalayas in the north is divided into three main parallel ranges. The highest range is known as Great Himalaya or Himadri, the middle Himalayas or Himachal, and the lowermost stretch is known as Shivalik. So all these areas, states like Jammu and Kashmir, the states like Uttarakhand, Himachal Pradesh, all these lie, and even the parts of northeastern states also, they lie on the stretches of Himalayas. They lie on the various layers of Himalayas. So there are three divisions to Himalayas: the Great Himalayas, the Middle Himalayas, and the Shivaliks. If we go by the physical divisions, sir, this entire stretch is of Great Himalayas. So the northernmost part is by Great Himalayas. I'll try to show it by drawing a map again. So we need to remember these physical divisions, because these are very important when it comes to. So here this entire stretch is of Himalayas. This part of Rajasthan is Great Indian Desert. This entire stretch of Punjab, Haryana, and parts of Uttarakhand are the northern plains. This is the peninsular or Deccan Plateau, what we call as. Here we have Vindhyas, Satpura ranges. Then we have this Sundarban deltas here. Then we have this Brahmaputra basin. We have the Western Ghats and the Eastern Ghats, and areas to the east of Eastern Ghats and the areas to the west of Western Ghats are known as coastal plains. So these are the major physical divisions in which India is divided. So the northern India plains lie to south of Himalayas. See, the area exactly below the Himalayas, or area exactly south to the Himalayas, is what is known as the northern plains. The part of Punjab, the part of Haryana, the part of Uttar Pradesh form the northern plains. The western part of India lies in Great Indian Desert, stretching from Gujarat to certain limits of stretching from the parts of Rajasthan to certain limits of Gujarat. We find Great Indian Desert. The southern and northern plains lies in the peninsular plateau. This entire region is the peninsular plateau. We have Deccan Plateau towards the south, sandwiched between western and eastern Ghats. Aravali is one of the oldest range of the world, so you can identify Aravali ranges on the map of India. Then Western Ghats or Shadris, we need to remember, sir, Shadris. Western Ghats are known as Shadris. They border the Deccan Plateau on the west. So this is our Deccan Plateau, and towards its west there is a stretch which is known as Western Ghats, and the areas ahead of Western Ghats towards the western side, towards the Arabian Sea, are known as the Western Coastal Plains, and this Western Ghats are known as Sahyadris. And similarly on eastern side we have Eastern Ghats. It is again a stretch of hills that goes towards the eastern side of India, and parts which are further east of Eastern Ghats towards the Bay of Bengal, these are known as what? These are known as the Eastern Coastal Plains. To west of Western Ghats and to east of Eastern Ghats, we have Western Coastal Plains and Eastern Coastal Plains respectively. The rivers like Mahanadi, Godavari, Krishna, they drain into Bay of Bengal. The Sundarban Delta is formed where Ganga and Brahmaputra flow in Bay of Bengal. So Ganga and Brahmaputra, both of these rivers flow into Bay of Bengal, forming a region known as Sundarban Delta, which is considered to be the most fertile area. Then we have group of islands called Lakshadweep, which are located in Arabian Sea. Going back to the map. Here in Arabian Sea, this is the region which is Lakshadweep, and similarly in Bay of Bengal we have Andaman and Nicobar, which is again part of India. So these are the small group of islands. In Arabian Sea we have Lakshadweep, and in this Bay of Bengal we have Andaman and Nicobar. So they lie toward the Andaman and Nicobar. It lies to the southeast of India's mainland in Bay of Bengal. So these are the important physical features and political features of India. I guess you are already well aware of these things, but since it is the part of NCERT syllabus, so we need to cover it. I guess we are clear with all the things related to political and physical. It's not that these are the only physical divisions. We will further get into detail of this, but to start with, in the 6th class NCERT for chapter number 7, these were the things which we need to understand. I hope we are clear with it. Such classes are really helpful, and the most important thing helpful for qualifying this examination will be Plus and Iconic subscriptions. You need to test yourself time and again before UPSC tests you in final examination. So you need to opt for test series for mains, also for optional, also for anthropology, pub, geography, mathematics. We are providing you optionals. You can enroll in our Plus subscription, Iconic subscription. You can opt for optionals, you can opt for notes, you can opt for our 9 months course for upcoming 2023 prelims. You can opt for CSET course. All this at Unacademy using this code IAS Icons, which will fetch you maximum discount. If you are following this channel for the first time, I request you to please subscribe to the channel. Follow us and join us on Telegram, and I'll be providing the PDFs of all the lectures on Telegram. Thank you very much. All the best. Keep working hard. Bye bye. Take care. Jai Hind.